Everybody, welcome back to Dinner Television. You are joining us, and we are actually joining Courtney Theriault, who is live in Fort McMurray. And for the last hour, Courtney, you have been featuring some incredible stories of courage, of rebuild on this year anniversary. And it seems to me the mood, especially where you are at right now, is very much what you've been giving us a sense of. Lots of hope, courage, positivity, and this sense that they will absolutely rebuild.
Yeah, this is a day that certainly has been discussed constantly over the course of the last few months, leading up to what many anticipated would be a somber anniversary. But to talk to the people around here today, they would refer to May 3rd, I think, almost unanimously as a Wednesday, just another day. And you can see by what's happening around here that there are a lot of smiles, a lot of hugs, a lot of subdued emotion. And I think that speaks to, as you mentioned, the resiliency that we've seen up here in Fort McMurray, as the community is still very much in the throes of both a physical and emotional rebuild.
Absolutely. I think for many of us on the outside looking in, it's more of an anniversary. I think it was best said by Bradley Karp, actually, who was featured predominantly in that last hour, who currently is working in radio up there now, said, can it just be May 4th already? Because I think for them it's just continuing on the track, but get incredible stories that certainly are going to continue for this next hour, Courtney, giving us a sense of what's to come.
Indeed, and we are talking about the mood here in Fort McMurray, and as we mentioned, there is cautious optimism, but there's still a level of frustration, and particular for those who might have lost their homes or businesses along the way. Many of them have encountered massive hurdles with respect to insurance claims, some finding that insurance doesn't cover anything, or that in some cases insurance doesn't cover some of what they lost. But the good news is that while it takes hands to build a house, it is hearts, and only hearts, that build a home. Andrea?
Have to start all over again. It's a little scary. To be having the support that we've been having in this community is overwhelming.
It's been 1 year since Carol McKenzie lost her beloved home in Beacon Hill. She's still very emotional. So much so, Carol didn't want to take us to her now empty lot where her home once stood. Carol and her family are now getting a helping hand from Habitat for Humanity, who has teamed up with other non-profits in Fort McMurray as the city rebuilds.
Whereabouts did you encounter the flame, sir?
Just before Beacon Hill.
Those who work with survivors of natural disasters say this 1 year anniversary could be very difficult.
There's a high shortly after when all kinds of community helps out, and then after that initial flood of response happens, the survivors, those who have experienced loss, go through a low time, and it's actually a year later.
This is a critical time because some people can't imagine they would still be without their home or wonder how they are going to move on.
People are in various stages of recovery, and I think what we find with it is, as with any healing process, there's ups and downs that go with it. So we may talk with people one day and they're feeling really good and they're feeling really excited to move forward with, and then when you meet with them a week later, they're actually feeling pretty low and aren't quite sure what they're going to do, and the stresses are on them.
Habitat has about 40 active applications right now, and while they usually build 1 or 2 homes per year, this year the organization is looking to build 8 to 10 homes. Habitat welcomed a family to this home in Waterways back in February. It was one of the worst hit communities in last year's fire. Habitat had actually received all of its approvals 1 week before the fire. They couldn't start construction, though, until this past October. Habitat gives priority to homeowners who were uninsured or underinsured before flames enveloped their homes. For those people, and there are many, Habitat offers a second chance.
I think the fact that people have lived through it and are just damned and determined that we have a good thing going here, We have a good community, great people. We cannot lose this.
All right, of course, as we know, approximately 10% of Fort McMurray in terms of the physical structures lost to last year's fire. Right now, talking to one of those individuals who's undergoing, I guess what would be best described as a somewhat arduous process to reclaim their home. Christina Lucarelli joins us now. Thank you for joining us. Talk to us about what your May 3rd was like and the process to get your home rebuilt.
May 3rd, I feel like for many was chaotic, but organized chaos. You know, everyone's kind of fleeing at the same time, trying to follow instructions, and everyone surprisingly was super calm. No one was, you know, trying to take over the lanes and stuff like that. It was worrisome, of course. My boyfriend was up at site, which is an hour away, and it took him about 4 hours to get home because I did not want to move without him because I really didn't know what to do. So it was a crazy experience. A lot of people say that it was apocalyptic or like a movie, and that's exactly what it was. It was almost unbelievable, like what was happening.
And you guys lost your home?
Yes, we lost our home, and the process since then has been quite difficult. We're at a year now, and we're probably around the 65% mark of completion. We've been battling insurance companies, permits, weather, workers. I mean, the list just goes on and on for our house, and I'm sure a lot of people in Fort McMurray are in the same situation as us.
No, not a lot of people are in the same situation as you in one respect. You laugh about it now, which I think speaks to your resiliency, but not only did you lose that first home, you also lost a rental home.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty unbelievable. It happened on April 1st, and my boyfriend had called me when he was at work and said, "You need to go home, our house is on fire." And I said to him, "This is a sick joke. I mean, it's not funny." And sure enough, I'm driving up the highway, and there's a fire truck like coming right behind me, and I'm like, "Oh, this is serious," and trying to beat it. And when I came to our house, it was just up in smoke, and I was like crying, didn't know what to do. And then when he came home, we kind of just looked at each other, gave each other a high five, and said, "We got this." So, you know, it's been difficult, and our relationship has been tested with it, but it's got to go only up from here, right? So.
Well, so I guess that is the question. You talk about, you know, feeling that strength, feeling the fact that, you know, you can build off this. How would you describe how you're doing right now?
I think we're doing better than we were, obviously, at the beginning. Things are coming closer and closer together. Seeing the house and seeing the walls up and stuff like that is just like confirmation that it's going to be okay. There is a silver lining at the end of the tunnel. You know, we're going to have a new house and new memories and stuff like that. Things can be replaced, and, you know, you just got to move forward from that.
What's it going to mean for you when you turn the doorknob and walk into that home?
Like, my heart's beating right now because I think I would probably just break down and cry because it's been something we've been working hard towards, and so many different obstacles coming ahead of us. And I think it's just going to be a relief to finally call a place home and be able to settle and not have to worry about insurance or permits or any of that kind of stuff. Just live a somewhat normal life and just see what the future holds. Hopefully things will be better.
Well, and you know what? I look forward to you having a house, and I think it's safe to say that you've got a great home in Fort McMurray already.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love this community. It's, you know, when the fire happened the first time, everyone band together. Didn't matter where you were from or what was happening with your situation. Your house was burnt down, it was still there. People all over Canada came together to help us. And then again with the second fire, this community rallied up for us, and they just, you know, pulled some strings to help us in any way they could. And it was absolutely amazing. And I would love to thank each and every one of them. It was just...
Well, you just did, right there on camera.
That's true.
Your resiliency is inspirational, and we're wishing you the best of the luck going forward. Christina's story is one that we've heard several different times in different forms, of course, throughout these past 12 months, and lots of thank yous as well. Right now, just a few more of those from here in Fort McMurray.
And everything was gone. It was literally gone. It was like a bomb went off. Wiping the tears away, driving down the street, and it's silent. My wife's not talking, I'm not talking. We're looking for our property, where our house used to be, see if there's anything left. And I hope people don't forget about us up here. And I want to thank everybody from coast to coast again for their help and their support. You know, the bake sales that these little girls are putting on in Ontario to help us out, and some of the things that, you know, I got a blanket from some seniors in southern Alberta Every one of these ladies is over 70 years old, and they all made a little square, and they sat together and they put a quilt together for my wife and I. So we now have a quilt made with 100% love from 70-year-old senior citizens in southern Alberta that I've never met before. Again, from bake sales to these things, to people donating plants and flowers in the summertime, to donating Christmas ornaments in the wintertime. Just that's what really helps me, helps with the healing process. Just don't forget about us.